Welcome everybody. The official beginning of this Kiwanis meeting and Rae Burick Women of Sports Award is beginning. The Kiwanis Club wants to thank all the participants for being here, and we're proud to be a sponsor of this event. This event is not for us, it's for all these women, young women that are seated here. They are the women that are being told the future the future is in their hands. It's an honor, tonight is an honor for their accomplishments. Kiwanis is a group that, as our mission statement says, Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to changing one child and one community at a time. That's what this event is, to honor these young women so that they can go on and have future careers. At this moment, I would like to bring up Reverend Cecilia Sledge for an invocation.
I invite you to bow your heads if it is your practice to do so. Holy One, this room is filled with pride tonight. The pride of parents and of grandparents, of teachers and of coaches who have challenged and encouraged and watched these young women develop. Holy One, this room is filled with confidence tonight. The confidence of student athletes who will take their education, who will take what they have learned in the development of their sports, who will take the training, who will take the discipline, who will take the creativity and the awareness, and truly become the future leaders of our nation and of our world. We thank you for the Kiwanis. We thank you for the Rae Burick Awards that recognize these student athletes, all the work, all the time, all the learning that they have done, and the amazing women that sit in these rows that we come to honor tonight, to say, well done, well done. Amen.
And now if you will join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the chairperson for Rae Burick, Diane Graham.
We're just keeping it real here. Thank you for joining us today to honor our 2013 Rae Burick Women in Sports athletes. You all are an amazing group. You all excel in at least one sport, you have outstanding GPAs, and you manage to do volunteer work as well. How did you get here today? Probably with the guidance and support of your family. Please take a moment to thank them today. And also, your amazing teachers, coaches, and counselors. Take a moment to thank them when you see them tomorrow, if they're not with you today. I'd also like to introduce you to some folks who you probably don't know, who have been working tirelessly to make sure you are honored today. They are the steering committee for this year's event. They are all volunteers, and when I call their names, I'd like them to stand and remain standing so that we can properly recognize them. Kelly Brown, where did you go, Kelly? Oh, here she is. J.D. Claffey, Bethany Dinas. Where is Beth? There she is. Okay. Chuck Sousa, Jeff Funkhauser. I know he's standing behind me somewhere. Steve Ross is probably running a camera somewhere. Wave, Steve. And Josh Jones is behind the curtain. Can you come out?
There's Josh waving. Hi, Josh.
Oh, okay. Please show them that you appreciate their efforts. Most of the steering committee are members of the Kiwanis Club of Dayton, but Beth Dinas represents Dayton Children's. Because Kiwanis supports the children of the Miami Valley, as you saw from the video, it just makes perfect sense that we donate proceeds to Dayton Children's. How many of you in the audience today have received treatment at Dayton Children's? How about a family member that have received treatment? So, we have included, as you know, an envelope in your program, and if you would like to support Dayton Children's, we are totally behind you there. It is now my pleasure to cue the Dayton Children's video, which will be followed by Dr. Mike Albert from Dayton Children's.
Dayton Children's provides the specialized care for the smallest, most fragile infants that are born in our region. We also provide the right care for kids affected by severe illnesses and children born with congenital problems and may require a lifetime of specialized care. We also treat severely injured children from outlying areas who are flown into our trauma center.
When we got to the emergency room, they took us right into a private room and started working on Benjamin, doing tests on him to figure out what the problems might be. Everybody in there was confident in what they were doing, and that made me more confident. All the staff at Children's is very passionate. Rarely do people leave right when their shift was up.
There's nothing worse than to have your baby or your teenager come into the hospital and you be there wondering what's going on. So we include all of the family in the way in which we deliver care. Teamwork is critical for the delivery of care for our children. Together with each of the team members, we are able to customize the care specifically for your child.
Sometimes when children get sick, there's multiple organ systems that are affected, and it takes a specialist to treat those organ systems.
There's a real shortage of pediatric specialists nationwide, and we're very lucky to have a very full staff of pediatric specialists here at Dayton Children's. Pediatric surgeons are trained in general surgery first, and then we do at least 2 more years of pediatric surgery. It's particularly rewarding to be able to fix a problem with a couple hours of surgery, in the first day that they're born, and then see them back when they're 2 years old, 5 years old, even 10 years old, doing well from that problem.
The newly renovated emergency department and trauma center is uniquely designed for the physicians and nurses to respond quickly. Our mobile intensive care units are specifically designed to be able to provide the highest quality of care for the most critically ill child. Our transport team can arrive on the scene, have all the equipment they need to be able to provide stabilization.
When Amelia was 2 days old and we were still in the hospital where I delivered, we found that she had a rapid heart rate.
These 3 people who showed up who were clearly professionals with this box with all of these tubes and such coming out of it, and to watch our child be loaded into that was rather frightening, but at the same time they were explaining that it was like a hospital within this small contained area.
It's important to understand that children are not just little adults. And so the care that is rendered to a child is unique to that child.
Children with cancer have a chronic illness that requires intensive therapy in the beginning. Chemotherapy can be very hard on the family, so when we finish chemotherapy for a child, we like to celebrate. We will do this with songs, we give them a gift. We've even been known to spray them with silly strings. It's exciting for the staff as well as me to see the kids go through this, because we know that they're end of therapy and we know they're going to do well from there on out.
When we first heard that Allie had cancer, I don't think there was anything harder I've ever heard, but knowing that her treatment, almost 3 years, all the procedures, everything she was going to have done would be able to be done right here in Dayton, Ohio. It was such a relief.
We got to know everyone through the hospital. It became a second home for us.
It's really amazing how much is here and how good it is. And this hospital is actually rated, and we didn't know this until after the fact, among the top 10 in the country in many specialties. It's just nice to know that you've got something like this right in our own backyard here in Dayton.
Right care.
Right now.
Right here.
Dayton Children's.
Just right for kids.
Thank you. What a magnificent hall we're in, and this is a magnificent podium, which I'm having trouble looking over. It's so magnificent, which is probably a good thing for you guys. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Albert, Director of Orthopedics at Dayton Children's, and on behalf of Dayton Children's and the Dayton community and surrounding counties, welcome to the 26th Rae Burick Women in Sports Awards. And thank you, parents, families, and friends, for attending this wonderful event. Congratulations to all these exceptional student athletes here today. Your talent and hard work is admirable and a credit to your high schools. And let's not forget your parents, teachers, and coaches for the tremendous support they have given you over the years. I also like to congratulate the Dayton Kiwanis on this being the 26th anniversary of the Rae Burick Women in Sports Awards. Dayton Children's has been proud to partner with you all these many years. Kiwanis members across our wonderful country have made a tremendous commitment in helping youth in America. And our local club certainly demonstrates this commitment by hosting this Rae Burick Women in Sports Awards. Thank you, Dayton Kiwanis, the steering committee, and all the sponsors for their commitment to recognize the achievements of such talented student athletes. You know, I've been at Dayton Children's for 24 years. I know I look like I'm just a kid, but there's been such a tremendous explosion in the participation of sports by the female athletes since I've been involved in orthopedic care. Unfortunately, with this increase in participation also comes an increase in sports injuries. The proceeds from today's events will help Dayton Children's purchase state-of-the-art medical equipment for our patient areas and help us continue to provide the highest level of service and quality to youth, teenage, and young adult athletes. We know many of you have directly benefited by the services provided by Dayton Children's, and we want to always be prepared to provide the finest pediatric care to youth in the Miami Valley and the state of Ohio. Once again, thank you for being here, and thank you, Kiwanis Club, for partnering with Dayton Children's. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce Cheryl McHenry. Cheryl's bio is in your program, and everybody knows Cheryl McHenry through her tremendous work at WHIO Channel 7 in Dayton. I would like to personally thank Cheryl on behalf of Dayton Children's for all the things that she has done for our hospital over the many years. She has been part of this Rae Burick Women in Sports Award since the beginning. She's been a great champion for female athletes and the role it plays in shaping the character of young women. She must have started with this Rae Burick Sports Award dinner when she was about 8 or 9 years of age, because I don't know how she continues to hold her youth. But she'll have the honor of presiding over the remainder of today's ceremony, and thanks once again on behalf of Dayton Children's.
Thank you, Dr. Albert. Actually, we've been in your office a couple of times. The old hip stress fracture, yeah, that was fun during cross-country season. We've had our share of injuries. Welcome, everyone. This is a wonderful event, and as Dr. Albert mentioned, I've been with it since 1988, since the beginning, and it's one of my favorite events of the year because we get to honor our female athletes, and it's unique in the country. I don't think that there's another event like this that invites all the area high schools to come here and send their best athletes so that you can be honored. You know, I have something in common with you. I, too, would have been a great athlete. The only thing holding me back was lack of talent. Obviously, I'll stick to the news instead of comedy. And my first goal in broadcasting was to actually do play-by-play on the radio for the Cincinnati Reds. That's what I originally wanted to do. Some might argue I have a better face for radio. Again, I'll stick to the news. But you guys are so deserving to be here because you're not only fine athletes, but you're scholars, you're community servants, you're exceptional people. So this really is honoring all the hard work and discipline and teamwork that you've laid the foundation for a successful future for yourselves. And anytime somebody says that our country doesn't have a bright future, I think they should come to this event, see all the spectacular young women we have. You're going to really make a difference in our world. So thank you for your hard work and for everything you've done to get to this point. So just enjoy yourselves today and relish this moment. I have some housekeeping now. The Rae Burick Women in Sports Award was developed thanks to the vision and commitment of the Kiwanis Club of Dayton and the Children's Medical Center. Tonight, as Dr. Albert mentioned, we celebrate the 26th anniversary of this unique recognition program for female athletes, 26 years. This prestigious award honors the late Rachel Rae Burick, wife of Dayton Daily News sports writer Cy Burick. Rae has often been described as the quiet and strong guiding force behind Cy's distinguished writing career. She believed that an athlete's contribution to sports is best expressed in her desire to compete. Rae was quite active in the community, and she helped establish the Children's Medical Center, a birth defects clinic there. It is for these reasons that Cy, before he died in 1986, wished for this annual recognition to be named in the memory of his beloved wife, Rae. Like Rae, the athletes we honor this evening are multi-talented. Most of you excel in one or more sports, you achieve high academic standing, you demonstrate good sportsmanship, and you serve your communities. In memory of Rae and Cy, and on behalf of the Dayton Kiwanis, I'm proud to welcome you to this special evening. So congratulations to all of you athletes on your outstanding accomplishments. Everybody, please join in a round of applause for these outstanding young women. And you know what else? I heard Diane and then I heard Dr. Albert talk about your parents, but I didn't hear any applause for them, so how about it, okay? They've probably done a thing or two for you over the years. As we move into the awards ceremony, you may be wondering how tonight's winner and runners-up are selected. I have to tell you, it's not an easy task. You can see there's a lot of talent in this room. I'm really glad that I don't have to be part of the selection committee. Imagine having to decide whom to honor when there are so many excellent candidates from which to choose. This nearly impossible task falls upon the Rae Burick Selection Committee. This devotes many hours to determining who will be the winner and the 4 runners-up of these awards. We wish to thank this group for a difficult job well done, and we'd like the members of the selection committee who are present to please stand so that we may acknowledge you. We'll wait till they're all standing to give them a round of applause. We've got Kiwanian J.D. Claffey, Selection Committee Chairman. He's from the Non-Ferris Casting Company. There you are, J.D. Kiwanian Steve Brown, Selection Committee Chairman from Browns and Bills Architects. I don't think he's here tonight. Robin Spiller, Athletic Director of Northmont High School. She's present. Where are you, Robin? Somewhere. Dave Long, Retired Sports Editor, Dayton Daily News. Dave is not here. Chris Hart, Athletic Director, Archbishop Alter High School. There's Chris. Bethany Dinas, Director of Annual Gifts, Dayton Children's. Beth's here. And now, applause. Thank you. Thanks for doing the hard job again. Doesn't get any easier, does it? No. In addition to selecting our award recipients, it takes the support of many local businesses to make this event happen as well. So we wish to recognize all of the school sponsors who are listed in your program. Please be sure to support them, as each of these organizations made it possible for a school to attend the festivities this evening. This event would not be complete if we didn't offer you words of inspiration and guidance as you advance in your sport, your studies, and your life. And since I'm not the person to do that, I'm going to bring in somebody who can do that. I'm pleased to introduce this evening's guest speaker, Amanda Zedrick. Amanda is the program director with the First Tee of the Greater Miami Valley. The First Tee is a national youth development organization whose mission is to impact the lives of young people by providing educational programs that build character, instill life-enhancing values, and promote healthy choices through the game of golf. As program director, she is honored to serve the coaches, participants, and families of the First Tee by developing programs that benefit the community and grow the game that she loves. Amanda holds a marketing degree from Michigan State University, where she was a walk-on for the women's golf team and played for 4 years. Amanda considers her 4 years on the team the most valuable of her life. Not only were numerous doors open to her because of her skills and knowledge, but she also met the love of her life, husband Zach, who is now the head men's golf coach at Miami University. So ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please give a warm Miami Valley welcome to Amanda Zedrick. Amanda?
Thanks, Cheryl, and thank you all so much for having me this evening at the Rae Burick Women in Sports event. I want to congratulate all of our honorees tonight, and just job well done, and all of the parents and coaches, as everyone has mentioned. Give yourselves a round of applause for all of your hard work and effort for these girls this evening. I'm particularly honored to speak with you because the Women in Sports recognition was an honor that I received when I was a graduating senior in my hometown of Portage, Michigan. So it really goes to show that life comes full circle. When Kelly asked me to speak with you tonight, I have to be quite honest that I hesitated and was pretty nervous about accepting her invitation. My personal journey through sports isn't necessarily one of overcoming adversity or beating the odds, but it's a story of passion and of personal perseverance. And it's about a game that I love, and so it gets me pretty emotional. So I'm going to preface this speech by saying that I apologize if I have to take a few moments to gather myself as I pause in order to keep myself together tonight. But as I began to think about what I would talk with you about my story in the game of golf, a few defining moments came to mind. As achieving women in sports, I'm sure most of you have some of these moments: the time you first played the sport that you love, the time you won your first match or scored your first goal. Whatever the case may be. In my case, it all started when my dad gave me my first set of golf clubs. But to be fair, I don't actually remember this moment because I was about 2 years old. But it did start a love affair with the game, and it has continued to change and shape the course of my life. I should also start out by saying that I was blessed with wonderful, caring, supportive parents, and I can see by the audience this evening that many of you were blessed with the same thing. As the first daughter of two, I was a daddy's girl from a very young age, and I wanted to do anything and everything that my dad was doing. He was absolutely the coolest. Now, I realize that you guys might be at an age that your dad isn't so cool right now, but trust me, in a few years, once you get through college, your parents will be really cool and really smart again. It happened for me, I promise. Growing up, I played every sport you could imagine, and in fact, golf wasn't even at the top of my list. But in 1998, I had the opportunity to caddy for my dad in a tournament. My dad is a very, very good amateur golfer. He's played in some national tournaments with the U.S. Golf Association and even the British Amateur. So I had a lot to live up to if I was going to choose golf. The tournament he was playing in was near and dear to our hearts. It was an annual event in our hometown of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and featured some of the top amateur players from throughout the country. I honestly didn't really know what I was doing as a caddy, but I had been around the game long enough to know where I should stand and not to stand, how to tend the flagstick, rake the bunker, etc. It was a match play event, so for those of you that don't follow golf, it's pretty much set up like the NCAA basketball tournament where you play two-person teams and you play in matches where you eliminate one another until a winner is determined. My dad and his teammate had been in the finals for 2 years before the year that I started caddying, but they had lost in both finals. In fact, some had even referenced the "always a bridesmaid, never a bride" phrase as they were referring to him and his teammate over the course of the years. And this year, after 4 matches throughout the week, we found ourselves in the finals once again. But this time, I was there, so I knew that the result was going to be different. I cannot remember one shot in the match except for the absolute last one, which is when my dad drained an 18-foot putt on the last hole in order to win the match. The first thing he did was turn around and look at me and give me a great big bear hug. We had done it. We had won, and I was a part of it. It wasn't until just a few years ago that I actually figured out that this was a defining moment in my life. I always just thought it was a great memory. But one night we were sitting around the table with my husband and my parents, and we were discussing why I even chose golf in the first place. When I was going into high school, I was going to have to choose between golf, track, and softball. They were all going to be in the same spring season. And to be quite honest with you, I was the worst at golf, so I don't know why I decided to go that route. And as we were talking about it, my dad mentioned the Kalamazoo Invitational and the chance that the opportunity that we had that summer and the fact that we had won. I knew that at that point it had all clicked for me. I had a taste of what a championship felt like in golf, and I wanted more of it. I went on to play on 3 state finalist teams throughout my high school career and continued to improve upon my game each season. Although I achieved success, I never felt as though there was going to be a career for me in golf after I graduated high school. But my life revolved around the game. I spent every summer day waking up and working at the golf course. I found my first boyfriend at the golf course, and I pretty much spent every day there from dawn until dusk in the summer, whether I was working or playing or practicing my game. As my senior year of high school came to an end, I came to a realization that I just didn't think I was ready to give up on playing competitively. I really didn't know what I was going to do with my summers if I wasn't traveling and competing and practicing all the time. So after my parents took me on a Midwest tour of colleges, which basically visited every campus between Kalamazoo and Kentucky, I made my decision that I would attend Michigan State University. But at that point, I really didn't have any idea if I'd have a chance to play there or not. Sometime in the early summer before entering college, I reached out to the Michigan State head coach with my playing resume to see if there would be any chance of me playing on the team. The coach invited me up for an official visit to meet one of the current players, take a tour of the facilities, and really get to know what the campus was all about. I remember her saying to me, "It's really weird doing this visit because you've already chosen to go to school here. I've never had to recruit someone that I didn't have to convince to go to MSU." At that moment, it was really kind of strange to me. I didn't know how to take it because I didn't know that I was going to have a chance to be on the team. Maybe I was just at a point of disbelief, but I didn't realize at that point that my hard work in the classroom and that on the golf course were about to pay off. As the visit was ending, we were driving off of campus in my coach's car, and I'll remember this moment clearly in my head forever. I asked her from the back seat, "Coach, what would I have to do to try and be on your team?" And she turned around and said, "Amanda, you have a spot if you want it." I don't think before that point that I knew how badly I wanted it. I could barely get through the rest of the visit without jumping up and down with excitement in the back seat of the car. And I knew my parents felt the same way because they were with me. And when the 3 of us got in the car at the end of the visit, we did just that, all 3 of us together celebrating in the car of the parking lot of Forest Acres Golf Course at Michigan State University. I went to MSU and played as a walk-on for 4 years. There were times when I felt like being a walk-on wasn't as good, and I was somewhat embarrassed by it because I didn't do well enough to receive a scholarship there. I didn't travel, and so I didn't think that it meant as much. But now, 10 years later, standing in front of you, I say that I played as a walk-on proudly because I know that I had to be great in the classroom and that I had to be a great teammate in order to keep my spot on that team. And I worked really hard for 4 years to make sure that my coach didn't regret offering me that opportunity. As Cheryl mentioned, I should also say that my days at MSU were not only the best because of my experience with the team, but that I did meet my husband, Zach, and now we're happily living in Oxford as he's the coach at Miami University. So you can see I owe a lot to my coach, Slobodnik, more than she will probably ever know, but I'm sure she'll try to keep reminding me. As my senior year at MSU approached, I knew that I wanted a career in the game, but most of what I knew revolved around working at the golf course, and I just knew that that wasn't for me. I had known about a program with the United States Golf Association for several years, and after careful consideration, I decided to apply for that position. It was very competitive, at least 100 applicants nationwide each year, and only 6 were going to be selected. The selection process that they put us through was one of the most grueling that I've ever been through. We were invited out to Colorado Springs to go head-to-head with the 20 other finalists for the 6 positions in multiple interviews and presentations with the selection committee. As soon as I met the USGA Fellows, which is what we were called, I knew that this was the only job for me and I couldn't see myself doing anything else. The office that I would be working for was the arm of the USGA that gives out grants to junior golf programs and programs for individuals with disabilities on a national level. I absolutely knew at that time that my calling was to be able to give back to the game that had given me so much to that point in my life. Somehow, some way, I was able to apply my experiences at MSU and was selected to receive one of the spots with the USGA Fellowship in Leadership and Service. Another moment that I'll never forget, I was driving to class with my roommate my senior year of college, and I had to pull into a 7-Eleven as the 719 area code showed up on my phone. And granted, girls, those were the days where my phone was like this big. But I did have a cell phone, and I was just so nervous, and I didn't want to take the call while I was driving because I didn't know either way. I knew I would be emotional receiving it. And Steve on the other line says, "Amanda, we'd like to offer you a spot with the class of 2006. And I could barely get the courage to get the words together to say yes. It was just another one of those moments that I'll never forget and really changed the course of my life, and as a direct result of my participation in the game. Most influential in my experience with the USGA was working with the most talented and caring individuals I'll ever know. One of those was the opportunity to work with Judy Bell, who is the first and only female president of the United States Golf Association and was the founder of that program. Judy will be a lifelong mentor to me and friend, and she, in fact, is probably largely to credit for me even accepting the invitation to speak with you tonight, because she taught me to live fearlessly, always go for it, never say no, and not be afraid of failure. So hopefully I would be making her proud tonight. After working my 2 years with the USGA, I moved with my husband to Kansas, where I was out of the game for a few years and worked as an event director. I absolutely loved the people that I worked with in my experience there, but I knew that something was missing, and what was missing was the game of golf. When we had the opportunity to come back to Ohio, I knew I had to be back involved in the game somehow. It's just a part of me, of who I am, and I couldn't stay away from it any longer. So fast forward, and last year I accepted a position with the First Tee of Greater Miami Valley. Some of you may have heard of our programs, and especially for any of you out there that watch the PGA Tour, you might have seen some commercials on the Golf Channel that recognize what we are doing nationally. Our chapter is one of 188 chapters nationwide and even 5 internationally that serves kids through the game of golf to instill values and character building traits that they can use for a lifetime. I'm honored to be their program director. I get to work with more than 100 caring individuals that are coaches, volunteers, parents that are trying to make an impact on kids' lives through the game of golf. In 2012, our chapter was able to reach 6,000 kids in the Miami Valley area in the 3 counties of Butler, Warren, and Montgomery. And over the course of the next 3 years, our goal is to serve 15,000. So we're really excited to be able to bring not only the game of golf, but instill the values that are inherent in the game with the youth of our community. The clincher here, again, is that life comes full circle. You might remember the story I told in the beginning about caddying for my dad in the Kalamazoo Invitational. Well, at that time, a guy by the name of Brian Parkhurst was the assistant professional at that golf club. Brian was there and witnessed the win. Well, you might ask, what is Brian doing now, and what does he have anything to do with this story? Well, Brian is now the executive director of our chapter. When Brian and I first met, we were actually sitting in a room in my interview, and we somehow came up with the connection of Kalamazoo. So 15 years later, we were reunited to give back to the game that we love through our chapter. The beauty of golf and the beauty of each of your sports is that playing at it and competing at it teaches you so much more about life than it does about your sport. You can learn honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and confidence, all inherent values of your games. I'm sure you all have countless stories about how you can apply what you've learned in your sport to real life, whether it's winning and losing with grace, or how to motivate yourself, or how to pick yourself up after failing. Because you are all athletes, you have these tools, and no one can ever take that away from you, whether you continue to compete or not. My sport has changed me. Golf has changed me for the better. It's a tradition that was passed down by my father. It's a love shared with my family and brought me to the love of my life, Zach. It has taught me countless life lessons. and it has given me a career that I can now use to give back to the game that I loved for so many years. I really couldn't ask for anything more. If you take away anything from tonight, I hope you can take away with you to pay attention to those defining moments. They may not be very recognizable to you now, but someday they will be, because you never know how a phone call or a moment on your playing field or a car ride could actually change your life. I wish you all continued success, and congratulations again on your achievement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amanda. Wasn't she terrific? Glad to have you here. Thank you, Amanda. Great story. She told me it's not too late for me to take up golf, but I don't know, I got that lack of talent thing going. I'm kind of worried about it. It is now time to recognize those who are sure to become as inspirational as Amanda. Each school participating in this event was asked to select 7 athletes to be honored for their achievement in sports, and of these 7, 1 athlete was chosen as their school's nominee for the Rae Burick Award. Each nominee can be identified by the red corsage on her wrist and the fact that they're sitting right up front, right? Okay, ladies, so as I read your name, we want you to come forward to receive your certificate, and then we're going to ask you to remain at the front for a group picture, okay? So it shouldn't be too hard. The hardest part is for me to pronounce some of your last names. I'm going to apologize to you ahead of time. I had a committee going backstage. Kelly, blame Kelly and Amanda because we decided collectively. All right. And we go in alphabetical order, so we'll start with Alter High School. Austin Borton, track and cross country. Austin. From Beaver Creek High School, Mikayla Powers, soccer. From Bellbrook High School, we have Jenny Sanderson, cross country. From Bethel, we have Emily Mungaraz. And Emily, it doesn't say what your sport is. Do you know what her sport is? Okay. From Bishop Fenwick, Megan Blank, soccer. Megan. The nominee from Brookville is Sydney Sarah, basketball. From Butler, the nominee is Tatum Marshall, volleyball. The nominee from Carroll High School, Abby Serene, track and field. Abby. Catholic Central's not. Okay, our next nominee is not here, but we're going to mention her anyway. From Catholic Central, Brooke Malatic, soccer. We'll honor. Tell her we applauded for her, okay? From Centerville, Alexandra Henning, basketball. From Chaminade Julienne, Devonay Mitchell, track and field. No Devonay? Okay, we applauded for her too. Be sure and tell her, okay, girls? From Covington, Casey Yinkst, softball. No Casey. Wow. All right, busy weekend, I guess. Okay, from Fairborn, forgive me, Alexis, if I mispronounce your name. I should know this. Alexis Gassion? Gassion. Gassion. French, basketball. And that's what I'm going to blame Kelly and Amanda for that one. From Greenville, we have Megan Galloway. Megan? She's not here? Okay. From Kettering Fairmont, Catherine Westbeld, basketball. Catherine? Not here. I know they had prom last night. From Lebanon High School, the nominee is Jacqueline Crow, cross country. From Sidney Lehman High School, the nominee is Andrea Toby, volleyball. Andrea. The nominee from Miami East is Leah Donovan, volleyball. The nominee from Milton Union is Caitlin Neely, volleyball. The nominee from National Trail is Paige Thompson, basketball. From Newton High School, we have as the nominee Marissa Kleeman, soccer. From Northeastern, the nominee is Megan Simpson. She runs track. Okay. From Northmont High School, we have Hannah Schreiber. She's a swimmer. From Northwestern High School, the nominee is Jensen Kleiss, soccer. From Oakwood High School, I've seen you run. You're amazing. Mary Kate Vaughn, cross country. From Piqua High School, the nominee is Hannah Mowry, swimming and basketball. Same season, too. How'd you manage that? From Shawnee, seen you swim. Kendra Crew, swimming. From Sydney High School, the nominee is Connor Harris, basketball. The nominee from Southeastern is Mona Ratliff, volleyball. Mona is not here, but we'll give her a round of applause. From Springfield High School, the nominee is Shelby Evans, softball. From Tecumseh High School, we have with us as the nominee Megan Chrisman, volleyball. The nominee from Tippecanoe is Allison Sinning, cross country and swimming. Allison. We have with us from Tri-County North the nominee Megan Johnson, volleyball. Being honored from Trotwood Madison. Where was I? Okay. Tri-County North. Oh, we already did you. Trotwood Madison, Krista Coleman, bowling. Come on up, Krista. From Troy, the nominee is Caitlin Schmiedebusch, track and field. Caitlin. The nominee from Troy Christian is Amanda Sloan. Soccer is her sport. The nominee from Versailles is Bailey Marshall, swimming. The Wayne High School nominee is Emily Riviello, soccer. From West Carrollton, we have Tabitha Nolan. She runs cross country. And from Yellow Springs, Lois Miller runs cross country and track. Lois. Okay, and Megan Galloway from Greenville, you are here, right? Here you, come on up. Sorry, Megan. You just wanted to make a grand entrance since you were in the G's. Here you go. Congratulations. All right, you're all going to get a picture now. And while they're waiting for their close-up, Mr. DeMille, I want to tell you that the average GPA of the nominees this evening is 3.84. And the average GPA of the finalists is 3.86. Not too shabby because you've been pretty busy. I didn't hear anybody say cheese yet. That's why you're not done. See, this is what it's like to be a star, I guess, huh? Not that I would know. I guess somebody will give you the high sign when you're done. How are we doing? Okay? All right, ladies, we'll let you have a seat and we'll move on. While they're going back to their seats, as I mentioned earlier, it takes the support and dedication of many volunteers to make this evening a success. A wonderful example of that time and dedication is the beautiful Rae Burick trophy and the plaques awarded to our winner and runners-up. They were designed by Kiwanis member Steve Brown. Kelly's coming out to unveil right on cue, and produced through the efforts of Kiwani and J.D. Claffey. I remember one of our winners a few years ago, Tamika Williams, who went on to the WNBA, saying that it was her favorite trophy she ever got. And it is beautiful. As you might imagine, it is quite costly and time-consuming to craft and customize these pieces, so we would like to thank all of those involved in the production of these beautiful awards. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, time to award the scholarships and awards. I want to remind you that the nominees are judged on athletic accomplishments with consideration given to academic standing, school and community involvement, and the nominee's own comments concerning her accomplishments and goals. The Rae Burick Women in Sports Award recognizes 1 winner and 4 runners-up. And to encourage the pursuit of higher education and the continuation of her athletic career, the Kiwanis Club of Dayton Foundation is awarding $5,000 in scholarship monies. A $2,000 college scholarship is awarded to the winner, and a $750 scholarship is awarded to each of the 4 runners-up. With any luck, it's all down here for me? Yes. And as a parent who pays college tuition, I know that every little bit comes in handy, doesn't it? Yes, ma'am. All right. Thanks for agreeing with me. I'll just entertain myself. Okay. When I announce your name, come on up, and you get to awkwardly stand here for a while, but I mean, you're used to it. You play sports, right? So just come on up when I say your name, and then I'll tell everybody about you, and then what we're gonna do is the 4 runners-up first, and then the winner. All right? Our first runner-up is Kendra Crew from Springfield, Shawnee. Come on up, Kendra. Kendra continues the tradition of Rae Burick Award finalists who are outstanding swimmers and outstanding students. No group of athletes put in more training year-round than swimmers who practice 1 to 2 hours before going to school and another 2 to 3 hours after school. To put in all that time in the water and maintain an A average in the classroom takes discipline and time management. Kendra carries a 4.22 GPA, which has earned her academic All-Ohio recognition for 4 straight years. She had an outstanding career at Shawnee, being named the Central Buckeye Conference Swimmer of the Year 4 consecutive years. She qualified for the state Division II meet all 4 years, making the finals in races 8 times, was runner-up twice in the 100 backstroke and the 200 individual medley, and set a state meet record in the prelims of the 100 backstroke this season. A year-round swimmer, she competes for the Springfield YMCA team, or the mysterious Team SPY, as they are known in Y Nationals, is that right? She's been a placer in various races at the Y Nationals since the age of 12 and earned All-American honors 6 times. During the summers, Kendra helps manage the pool at the Springfield Country Club, where she also helps coach the club team, is a lifeguard, and gives swimming lessons. She is headed to the University of Kentucky on a swimming scholarship. Go Wildcats, ladies and gentlemen, Kendra Crew. We're bringing somebody else up to join you now, so don't worry. Our second runner-up is Jacqueline Crow, Lebanon High School. Jacqueline, come on up. Jacqueline is hoping track this spring will be as successful as cross country was for her last fall. It was her breakout season as she won the Ohio Division I State Individual Championship. She was named the State Coaches Association Division I Runner of the Year, and she earned Academic All-Ohio for the 3rd straight year. Her time of 17:39 over the 5,000 meter, or 3.1 miles course at state, was the fastest of the day in any division and a course record. In track, she runs the 1,600 and 3,200 meters, as well as being a member of Lebanon's distance relays. She was 2nd in the 3,200 at state as a freshman and was 8th last year. Jacqueline carries a 4.1 grade point average, which puts her in the top 5% in Lebanon's junior class. She has all honors courses, but she is especially strong in chemistry. Along with running, Jacqueline is active in her church youth group and helps coach Lebanon's youth track program. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacqueline Crow. Our third runner-up is Leah Donovan from Miami East High School. Leah, come on up. Leah is probably the best all-around athlete in the room and one of the best in the state. Consider her credentials. She was one of the top blockers and hitters on the Miami East team, which won back-to-back Division III state volleyball championships the last 2 years and earned her All-Ohio honors. On the basketball court, she averaged 11 points and 9 rebounds per game for teams that went 25-1 this past season and 23-1 her junior year, losing each year in the regionals. Her versatility really shows in track, where she competes in shot put, hurdles, high jump, and long jump. She was 6th in the Division II state meet last year in the shot put with a throw of 39 feet 4 inches, and 4th in the high jump, clearing 5 feet 4 inches. That's as tall as me. She ran the 100-meter hurdles in 16.3 seconds and went 16 feet 7 inches in the long jump, which earned her medals at the regional and almost got her to state. Leah carries a 3.6 grade point average. She's active in her church and the community. She's a youth basketball coach, and she participates yearly helping build homes for the less fortunate in the Habitat for Humanity program. This fall, she will play NCAA Division I volleyball for Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh, PA, on an academic athletic scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, Leah Donovan. Our fourth runner-up, thank goodness I listened to her pronounce her name, Alexis Gassion, Fairborn High School. Alexis. Working the carryout window at a fast food restaurant keeps this athlete prepared for some of the trash talk on the court. I love how Dave Long writes these. And provides gas money for travel to AAU team practices and any open gym she can find in the summer. Alexis is a self-proclaimed gym rat whose long hours developing all aspects of her game made her the top all-around senior in the Greater Western Ohio Conference and one of the best in the state. This season, she was 3rd in the GWAC in scoring at 18.8 points per game, 5th in rebounding at 5.1, 1st in assists with 5.4, and 1st in steals, 4.6 per game. As a junior, the 5'11" guard led the conference in scoring at 17.8 points, rebounding at 11.2, and was 2nd with 4.1 assists and 2.7 steals per game. Her postseason honors this year included 1st team on the Associated Press All-Southwest Division I team, special mention All-Ohio, 1st team on the Dayton Daily News All-Area team for the 3rd straight year, and South Player of the Year for a 2nd straight year. A 3-3 student, she played in both the Ohio North-South game and the Ohio-Kentucky All-Star game. In addition to working and playing basketball, Alexis has volunteered at the Fairborn Senior Citizens Building, the Dayton Veterans Administration Hospital, and at Four Paws University, bathing, feeding, and walking dogs up for adoption. She carries a 3.3 grade point average and will play her college basketball at Indiana University. Go Hoosiers. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis Gassion. So you're thinking what I'm thinking. With all these accomplished young ladies, who could the winner be? Well, let's find out. I'm going to read her bio first. Those of you who know her will probably figure out who she is, but then we'll give her a big round of applause at the end. This athlete is one of the most decorated individuals to ever play girls' high school soccer in the Miami Valley. She is the only area player to be ever named the Division I State Player of the Year, which happened last fall. She is a 3-time first-team All-Ohio selection and a 2-time All-American as selected by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. Her numbers as a 4-year starter were 82 goals and 41 assists, playing mostly in the midfield. At the national level, she has trained with the U.S. Women's National Age Group team since age 14 and she's been in the final cut for rosters of the U15 and U17 squads. She's also played in Europe with a regional all-star team made of players from 13 Midwestern states. Last summer, she was the only high school player to play with the Dayton Dutch Lions, a team in developmental division of the Women's Professional Soccer League. Some of her most satisfying moments on the field has come as a volunteer coach for The Tops, a soccer program for individuals with special needs. There are many in the room who are also involved with this program. She has expanded her role with special needs students as a peer mentor at Beaver Creek High School. She's also a youth coach in the Beaver Creek Soccer Association program, and she volunteers at local animal shelters. She has a 4.1 grade point average and will play her college soccer at the University of Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's winner of the Rae Burick Award is Mikayla Power of Beaver Creek High School. Mikayla. All right, Mikayla, why don't you come on over here and say a few words, if you don't mind indulging us just for a moment while Cheryl looks for the rest of her scripts and wonders what the heck happened to them. That's okay. I'll stand behind you here. Come on. Well, come on up. Are you happy?
Of course, that's crazy.
You're used to just letting your soccer speak for you, right?
Yes, definitely. I was shaking. I started hearing things. My heart was pounding.
Well, come a little closer to the microphone and just, who do you have to thank for this?
Well, my dad is here. My mom and sister are actually in Germany right now, so I want to thank them a lot. And then Mr. Smers, our athletic director, is here, and my high school coach and all the coaches I've had and everyone else that supported me over the years. So,
and you actually, this is a great group of young women to be part of, too.
Mm-hmm. I've played with a few of them that are actually sitting here, so.
Yeah, pretty humbling.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Mikayla Power, this is very heavy, so I'm going to let you take this back.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I think somebody else is going to come up now. Okay. Diane? Pictures?
Pictures, professional pictures and parental or... Yeah, here she is. Right here.
Okay, we're taking pictures. Do the cheese thing again, girls. Congratulations to our runners-up and nominee this year, our award winners of the Rae Burick Women in Sports Award. And at this time, I'd like to ask Diane Graham to come back up and just say a few words. Diane? Well, okay. I'm not allowed to leave, all right. I wasn't trying to.
Okay. I want to recognize Cheryl McHenry, and you didn't tell the story about the only two events that you've missed was childbirth and what was the other one?
Childbirth and childbirth, I think.
I think
I don't
so.
know.
She has two kids, and that's the only time she hasn't done this. So please give Cheryl a warm thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Diane. Thank you. I love doing this. Thank you.
She's so professional, isn't she? And Amanda, can you come up? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for being here today. Please feel free to come up and take pictures with your wonderful, wonderful athlete and congratulate our scholarship winners. Have fun and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks so much for coming.
Track and cross country, yes, we compete as like individuals, but the team is so amazing. I love my team, and some of my greatest memories are with my teammates. I know a lot of the girls that I compete against, like we've became friends over the years, and so like getting to run against them and competing with them and pushing each other, it really helps like actually know the girls like that you're competing against. All the girls here are such talented athletes. I feel so honored to have gotten this award.
It's an honor to be recognized for my academics and athletics, because sometimes one or the other goes unnoticed, and to both combine them, it's really nice. Everyone has worked so hard to get here. Like, there's not one person that didn't deserve it tonight, because everyone has put in so much effort. My family and my coaches, teachers, all the administration at my school has always supported me. They have supported every athlete, and I really appreciate them for that. They have helped me get to where I am.
And it means a lot to be nominated for something this big. Like you said, I didn't know anything about it, and I'm very honored to be here. Oh, well, I don't even know what was going through my mind because I wasn't expecting it. I was just sitting back talking. I heard my name. I was like, wait, what? Like I was like, oh my gosh, she called my name. I was very happy and very surprised. They've been to every single game. They're in the gym with me, working me out, pushing me to be my best. They've just always been there.
Really nice to be sitting with people that are putting in their heart and effort into a sport as much as you are. There's so many people that have always supported me, my parents and my grandma and grandparents, always. And then, I have great teammates, coaches that have always helped me throughout, so.
It's a natural stage for me on the soccer field, so I'm used to people being around and watching me play, but it's nothing like being on stage and everybody staring at you doing something that's not what I'm used to doing. It's going to be up on my dresser somewhere. Very big place to display. Well, it's a different type of award. I've been an All-American, so that's pretty cool and that's specific to my sport, but as an athlete in general, encompassing academics and all that stuff, this is definitely by far the best thing I've ever accomplished. So, all I can say is thank you, and I'm sure that's not enough because they've provided so much. My parents have done more than anything anyone can imagine, and my sister truly did pave the way for me to play, so I've been truly blessed with everyone.